Absolutely livid with how the Conservative Party have treated the electorate. I'm a first-time Conservative voter. I went there yesterday. I put my X on the box with the heaviest heart I've ever put down on a vote. The reason why I voted is if you don't vote, you can't have a moan. So I decided to vote. And I have to say to Jeremy Corbyn, absolute muzzle toff, Jeremy Corbyn. You've done an amazing job. You lied.
I see what you did there.
Right? You lied your backside off beyond belief. You promised sweets for everybody. You promised sweets for the doctors. You promised sweets for the policemen. You promised sweets for the railway workers. You promised sweets for the nurses. You promised sweets for the whole world. Right? You told me I weren't going to have to pay tuition fees. You told me I was going to get cheap water. You told me my rail fares were going to go down. Right? But I knew it was all spin. They even stuck a rose lapel on Jeremy Corbyn's lapel on the last few days to make it look like New Labour. They kept Momentum quiet, which is a militant organisation, which is affiliated to the Social Workers Party, right? I've always voted New Labour. I always voted for Tony Blair. I couldn't vote for Jeremy Corbyn because I could see through the spin that he'd actually put over, but he put it over brilliantly. And what did Theresa May do? I tell you what she'd done. She said to the electorate, I've got such a lead, I can say what I want and I can do what I want. And what did she do? She went after, the silly woman went after the old age pensioners for no reason whatsoever. She picked a fight with old age pensioners. She didn't need to pick up. She didn't need to put that in the manifesto. She didn't need to say that. But what she done is she thought, I'm so far in front, I'm going to start telling the truth. When has a politician ever told us the truth? Jeremy Corbyn done brilliant. He told everybody what they wanted to hear, and a lot of people sucked it up and voted for him. She should hang her head in shame. She has lost an election. Jeremy Corbyn, as far as I'm concerned, has won an election. Yes, he lied all the way through it. He told us we were going to have Trident. He told us that don't worry, I'm not going to touch anybody under £80,000 a year. So everybody felt comfortable. When the extreme left get into politics, as soon as they've got power, they're nasty little people. They're nasty little people. That's why I wouldn't vote for Jeremy Corbyn. But I tell you something, I voted for the Conservatives, and I was absolutely devastated that I voted for him, because that lady treated the entire working class of this nation with utter contempt. She thought that we disliked Jeremy Corbyn so much that she would sweep to power, and she's made the biggest political error in my lifetime. She should go today. I don't know who could take over, because as far as I'm concerned, the front bench of the entire Conservative Party are a complete bunch of buffoons, right? And on the Labour bench, let's not even say about what the front bench is. As soon as you can get decent centre-ground people like Chukwuemeka back into frontline politics, the better. Jeremy Corbyn would have been dangerous for this country. But I tell you something, I take my hat off to the man for the campaign he run. He dropped every single principle that he's ever held in his entire life to get us to vote for him. And we fell for it, hook, line and sinker. And the country now, we're in a mess. We haven't got no leadership. We've got what we deserve. And it's all down to Theresa May. I'm fuming. I'm fuming with the woman. She's a disgrace. She took us for an absolute bunch of idiots that all we would do is listen to the Daily Mail, listen to the Sun, and go and vote for her. She's a disgrace. I'm sorry, Ian. I'm livid with her. Livid.
Martin, what do you do for a living?
I run a chauffeur company in London.
Ever fancied a career in talk radio?
I tell you honestly, Ian, I can't tell you how frustrated I am.
I think we've gathered it. I think we've gathered your frustration, and in a sense, I think Theo Usherwood might as well go home now. I think I might as well join him, because frankly, you have said what needs to be said.
Absolutely. And do you know what? The electorate, we sometimes we go on sound bites, we go on the way that somebody looked, and I'll tell you something, whoever polished up, they say you can't polish a turd, right? And I'm telling you something, they polished Jeremy Corbyn up brilliantly. They told him to shut up when he needed to shut up. They told his militant activists to shut up when they needed to shut up. They got their act together. They produced a credible man. But I knew, because I'm New Labour. I'm working class. I knew what he'd have done to my country if he'd have got into power. I could see through the spin. I could see through the everybody's going to food banks. I could see through all that, right? But the majority of people were so fed up. And let me tell you another thing. Ian, right? People in the public sector, right, are cheesed off up to the eyeballs, right, of not getting a pay increase and not getting appreciated. And do you know what Theresa May done? She ignored that entire sector of the public. She just ignored them. She said to them, do you know what? I'm so far in the lead in the opinion polls, I don't even have to listen to you people. I'm just going to get this super majority, and we're going to all go down the sweeping negotiations of Brexit. She honestly, I can't believe, for a first-time vote, I did vote Conservative. I'm a little bit ashamed to say I voted Conservative, but I knew how dangerous Jeremy Corbyn was, right? And I moved into a posh area in Horsham, right, which was such a safe Conservative seat. My vote was wasted anyway, right? But I thought, I'm going to vote, I'm going to stick it on the cross, and my cross was against Jeremy Corbyn, was against Momentum, was against the Social Workers Party, was against trade unions running my country. That's what my vote was for, right? And I put it on my local Jeremy Quinn, I think the fella's name is. I put it on his cross, and I felt a little bit ashamed that I'd done it, because I knew that Jeremy Corbyn would be dangerous for the UK. He'd be hugely dangerous. Oh my dear days, please, Ian.
Shall I put you out of your misery? Honestly, Martin, honestly, look, often when we get callers, I look at my Twitter feed and people are saying, oh, they're talking a load of rubbish. I'll tell you what, somebody's suggesting you should be Prime Minister. Someone says, love this caller. Michael says, Tony says, well said, statement was a disgrace. She came across as, oh no, see, there's so many people on Twitter wanting to praise you, Martin, that I can't read them because they keep going off the screen before I can even get to them.
Do you know what, Ian? I tell you honestly, my friend, right? Like, working class people like myself, who've done fairly well in their life, right? We're aspirational, right? We want a government that celebrates success, right? Oh no, Jeremy Corbyn sits at home and everybody that earns an extra pound note, he gets the ump over it. And he sits there and thinks, oh, the rich are rich and we should take off the rich. And I knew how bitter he felt. But you know what? I take my hat off. Jeremy Corbyn, if you're listening, well done. Well done. You were amazing. You spun everybody. You put the rose on your lapel. You even started to sound like Tony Blair in the last couple of weeks, right? But I know how dangerous you are, Jeremy Corbyn. I know what you'd have done to my country, right? And do you know what? The Conservatives need to get a few more people in their party that talk like me, that have lived like me, that have acted like me, because I tell you something, if you talk straight to the British public, they'll understand. And that woman, the first thing she should have come out this morning, put her hands up and said, you know what, everyone, I was bang out of order, I've taken you for granted, I've taken a liberty, I'm so sorry, give me another shout, and let's go back to the beginning. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk into Europe looking like a bunch of buffoons. The Germans, the French, the Italians and the Spanish, they're laughing their socks off. Look, how can we sit there and say, right, now I'm going to play tough ball with you? How can we sit there and say, now we want a strong deal out of you? We can't. We're going to look stupid. Absolutely. Listen, well done, Jeremy Corbyn. You are the greatest act since Punch and Judy. Congratulations. You, John McDonnell, right, you hid yourself, tucked yourself away. Tom Watson, you hid yourself away. You all tucked yourself away. Momentum, congratulations. I know how nasty you lot can be. You kept quiet. Social Workers Party, you kept quiet. All the anarchists, they all kept quiet. They kept their balaclavas down. And what did the Tory government do? They stuck out a manifesto without a single pound note on it, right? And what did we do? We all sat there and thought, what are you doing? So, people with aspiration looked at her. Week one of a stupid campaign. I was sitting there watching telly and thinking, what are you doing, woman? What are you doing? Why are you not talking about how aspirational we all can be? Why
Martin,
are you doing something for the young? Oh, dear, please, Ian.
Martin, I was determined I wasn't going to bring you to a stop because you have entertained us all for the last 9 minutes, and it's not very often.
I'm sorry.
It's not very often that anyone gets 9 minutes on this show, whether they're politicians or